Hello, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Lonnie Von Erich Rice III, and I am a current master's degree candidate in the entrepreneurship program at Western Carolina University. Today, I would like to discuss the ideal clientele for L'ÉTIQUETTE NOIRE luxury brand footwear. And this is for my ENT 645 entrepreneurial marketing class. So without further ado, let's get right into the ideal clientele for L'ÉTIQUETTE NOIRE luxury brand footwear. Now, if you are a brand that produces luxury products, finding your ideal client is not always simple. You may be surprised to hear that the audience skews to the younger crowd, as young as 19 years old in some instances. From Generation Z to millennials and those just outside those groups, your audience is at different life stages. Effective luxury goods marketing calls for careful targeting of particular demographics. Luxury firms need to draw in customers who can afford to spend a little bit more on products since high-end goods are not designed for standard ones. Although the tendency is to market to an older crowd, we cannot ignore the younger generation, also known as Generation Z. They are a big chunk of our target market at 15%. Now let's take a closer look at the ideal clients for luxury brands by generations. First up, Generation Z. Now, while I want to put my marketing efforts for consumers in my age bracket, those in their 40s, it is actually two younger and thus unexpected groups I should also focus on. These are Generation Z and millennials. Now, when I say young, I do mean young. Generation Z includes those born between 1997 and 2003. Now, of those Gen Zers surveyed in the Wealth X report, only 14% of them said they never buy luxury items. Now let's take that a bit further. A small group, 19%, said they rarely do. They do buy, but rarely do. An equal sized group, also at 19%, said they treated themselves to these luxury products on a regular basis. Now, more Generation Z respondents, 25%, answered that they occasionally treat themselves to luxury goods. Once again, but they are buying. Now, most of them seem to buy these as gifts for others at 33%. 33% of the Generation Z population said they buy for others as gifts. Now, let's look at millennials. Now, millennials are no longer the youngest kids on the block. They also encompass a bigger audience than I realized. To fit this grouping, my audience would have had to have been born between 1983 and 1996. Now, while 16% never bought luxury goods, 18% said they rarely did, the numbers only went up from there. 22% were occasional treaters, down 3% from Generation Z, and 23% bought luxury goods as gifts, a decrease of a whole 10% when compared to Gen Zers. Instead, what the data shows is that more millennials are buying luxury items for themselves, with 34% saying that they do. That makes this age group my biggest buyers. Per the data, it is women who spend more than men, with women consisting of 62% of that millennial audience. Now, luxury e-commerce shoppers have an almost equal gender split. It was 53.4% for females and about 46.6% for males. In addition, women lead the global market and made up 47% share of the global revenue in 2021, as based from Statista 2023. Now, increased spending on luxury footwear by the working class and millennials has fueled the growth of the market worldwide. The women's segment is expected to maintain its lead over the forecasting period. Now, the last group I want to take a look at is what I call tweeners. Now, these can be looked at as older millennials or younger Gen Xers. Now, this last group that buys the most luxury goods do not really have an official name. That's why I term them tweeners, as the group age cuts off after 36 for millennials. And this group is also too young to be Gen Xers, which are those around 43 to 56 years of age for Gen X. So that's why I call this group tweeners. They are between 35 to 44 years old, and they are also another big part of my target audience. Up to 33% of them regularly treat themselves to luxury goods. Now, once again, we can look at the global market right here in this chart, looking at the footwear market from a global index. And this is shared by end users of 2021. And you can see about 47% of women are driving the market, compared to about 36% of men, and then children in the other category. Now, what drives my luxury brand target audience? So, as I begin brainstorming what the L'ÉTIQUETTE Noire marketing campaign will look like, I have to consider the values of my target market. These are the qualities most important to my ideal clients, which are called psychographics. Now, psychographics in marketing allows brands to focus on understanding the client's emotions and values so they can market more accurately. Now, I took a small subset of individuals that I want to focus on, and these are what I call the vegan-oriented consumer groups. Now, this group is bound together more closely by shared values and motives than by age or gender, which is exactly where psychographic targeting comes in, offering a more intelligent solution for values-based customers on communication. Now, L'ÉTIQUETTE Noire will position itself as, quote, the freshest vegan leather luxurious footwear you will ever own, end quote. Now, some other psychographic parameters to consider are exemplary customer service, immersive ads, and you can think of ads that you've seen on YouTube that have interactive commercials like QR codes where you can scan at the touch of a button. Also, authenticity. My target audience wants a brand that's going to be authentic to them. Next up, we have environmentally friendly target audience, which I'm going to focus on. That's kind of like the subset of individuals that I want to market my footwear towards. Also, quality craftsmanship and materials are very important when looking at psychographics. Having a strong online presence and brand narrative also helps when driving the psychographics with your target audience. Now, let's take a look at where my target audience is located. Now, looking at geographics, where are my clients located? Now, North America led the market for luxurious footwear sales and accounted for 29.1% share of the global revenue in 2021. And that's based on facts from Statista in 2023. A large number of affluent individuals with high disposable income in this region is one of the main drivers of the market. North America hosts about 41% of the high net worth individuals, for short they call them HNWIs, in the world. And that's seen from the Wealth X report, High Net Worth Handbook in 2019. These individuals are boosting the demand for luxurious products, including high-end footwear and clothing. Now, Europe is projected to be the second largest regional market for luxurious footwear. Consumers who prefer luxurious footwear with brand value and unique characteristics are driving the market. The growing trend and style of business casual and streetwear on high-end fashion is also responsible for the rise of luxurious footwear in Europe, where it is now increasingly acceptable to pair sneakers with a suit. So I want to make sure that from a geographical perspective, I can target everyone within this target range. That's why it's important that I set up my shop via an e-commerce shop versus a brick and mortar store. By doing it e-commerce and online, I can target individuals from around the globe, which is what I want to do. So, taking all this into consideration, looking at L'ÉTIQUETTE Noire's ideal clientele. So the target group for my target for L'ÉTIQUETTE Noire would be individuals from the ages of 25 to 54 years of age. They are affluent individuals with high disposable income, located mostly in North America. They are environmentally conscious and fashion-forward individuals as well. Now, understanding the ideal client for L'ÉTIQUETTE Noire luxury brand footwear will ensure how the brand markets its products appropriately. In fact, as the brand introduces its latest drops and product releases, we want to ensure their sellability. And that's why direct marketing and target marketing is very important. That means knowing the ideal clients most receptive to the brand I can target. Now, based on that, I want to end in closing with our statement. L'ÉTIQUETTE Noire. This is the freshest vegan leather footwear you will ever own. And I want to make sure I stress that importance with my target marketing for these individuals. So with that, I want to thank you for your time today and take care. And remember, L'ÉTIQUETTE Noire, the freshest vegan leather footwear you'll ever own.